Go get it. What is that?
This is item number 3 of the trade up series, and if you haven't caught the first couple of videos, I started off with $200, and my goal is to keep buying and flipping items to eventually work my way up and get a drift car for the channel. Now this thing's already pretty mint, but I'm going to show you guys the full process from when I first got this thing to how it looks right now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Pulling up to the guy's apartment complex right now. If you guys see him over there, if everything goes well, fingers crossed, we should be able to hopefully pick this thing up for around 800 bucks, which I'm super excited about. And then if things check out, we're gonna be going ahead and heading home with this bike. I just made it home and got everything unloaded. I wanted to introduce you guys to my brand new, to me, 2024 XPRO 250cc dirt bike or motorcycle, whatever you'd like to call it. So now that we got it home, let's pull it into the garage and I'll go over every single thing that this dirt bike needs. One thing that's super nice is if we come over here, get the key in the ignition, and if we hit the kill switch, everything with the bike runs perfectly. That's just one less thing that we're gonna have to worry about fixing, which I'm super happy about. Now, if you couldn't already tell, one thing that's really special about this bike is that it actually has a headlight, turn signals, a brake light, a plate holder, and even a horn on it as well. This thing even has the title, registration, the mirrors that go onto the side of the bike, which I actually took off myself just because I needed a little bit of extra room while I was loading it into the car. And because it has all those features on it, it's technically street legal, which in my mind is just completely crazy considering how this thing looks. This thing looks pretty much brand new. And that's great and all, but like I said, there is still a few issues that this bike has. If we come over here and turn the key, you'll see that the neutral and the gas gauge is working properly, but unfortunately, the gentleman who I bought this bike from says that the speedometer isn't working and neither is the mileage. If you take a look closely at the odometer, you'll see that it's currently reading 179 miles, which just from the looks of the bike, I believe is true. But I have no idea when this thing stopped working, so who knows how many miles this thing really has on it. So fixing the speedometer is definitely one thing that we're gonna have to make sure that we end up doing. Another thing that I noticed while I was purchasing this bike was when he turned the headlight on, I saw that the low beam was working properly, but the high beam bulb is currently out. Technically, I could leave the headlight the way it is right now just because it does work properly, but if I could, I'd like to get a replacement bulb for that high beam just so that way we can get the bike up to 100%. Now, I have only owned it for like 20-30 minutes since I brought it home, but if we find any other issues that's wrong with it, I'll make sure to tackle those as well. What I'd like to start off with first is fixing this speedometer, considering I think it's the biggest issue right now with the bike. From the little research that I've done, I'm pretty sure there's 2 issues that could be causing why it's not reading the speed properly, and there's this little cable that runs all the way up to the actual gauge right here, and it could either mean that the cable itself is broken or went bad, or this little drive belt right here, which is called the speedo drive, and I'm pretty sure that's what allows the bike to read how fast it's going. Like I've said before, I don't really have any experience when it comes to working on dirt bikes or motorcycles, which is part of the reason why I like doing this series so much, because it allows me to learn and, gain new skills that I didn't have before. So in order to check this cable, there's gonna be a few screws that we're gonna have to take off on both sides to get this plastic cover and the headlight removed. So let's go ahead and start working on this. Oh dang, that was pretty simple. All right. If we follow where this wire is routed all the way up to, you'll see it plugs into the back of the speedometer and the gauge right there. Now I'm just gonna unscrew the back of this cable off right here. Get this pulled out, just like so. I think I just may have found the culprit to our problem. If you take a look on the end of the speedometer cable that connects to the gauge itself, if you look at the end, which is, this piece is called the metal tang, I believe, it's fully frayed out on the end of this. And if we put this back in to this little housing right here, and we come to the bottom of the cable and spin this with the flathead screwdriver, it keeps spinning, which is what allows the gauge itself to read how fast the bike is going. But when we spin it enough, this piece just ends up coming out kind of like so, which is why the gauge cluster isn't working. Now, if we're lucky enough, which I think we actually are when it comes to this, the only thing that we're gonna need to do to get the speedometer working is buy a new cable, which I think only costs like $15 or $20 for this dirt bike. Another thing that I wanted to mess with is this headlight bulb right here, which is the one that's out. I'm not gonna mess with the secondary bulb because that one's working fine, but if we just get this one popped out, just like so, we can now go ahead and replace this with one that actually works right. One thing I did really want to do though is see how loud this bike sounds without the silencer inside of it. Real quickly, I just wanted to show you guys how the bike sounds right now. Definitely not quiet, but at the same time, it's really not that loud either. The exhaust is completely stock, so I'm just gonna remove the one bolt on this side, this one, and the one on top. Once we have that last screw removed, we should be able to just take this piece off. I'm gonna set it down to the side, and we're able to remove the entire silencer out of it now. I'm definitely able to just put this thing straight back on, so don't get butthurt from me doing this. For those of you who watch the channel, you guys would know I love vehicles or whatever I may own extremely loud. So I'm just really excited to see how this thing's gonna sound without this giant baffle inside of it. So if we go ahead and hit the key, turn the kill switch over. Oh, damn, that sounds pretty good. Let me go give it a few revs. Oh, bro, that's so much better. That's how it should have came. For the time being of me keeping this thing, I'm definitely leaving this baffle off. There's no way I'm putting this thing back on unless the person who I end up selling the bike to wants me to. Of course, I'll put it back on for them, but I'm definitely leaving this thing off. Because we were able to diagnose and figure out exactly what's wrong, or at least I hope what's wrong with the headlights and the speedometer, I was able to look up on eBay exactly the parts that I would need to be able to replace these things. I know it is a little bit hard for you guys to be able to read this off my phone, but on top right here, we have a 12 volt, 35 watt H4 halogen headlight bulb for the dirt bike. And then down below, we also have the speedometer cable that we'll need. One good thing about working on these Chinese or like Japanese style dirt bikes is the parts for them are always usually pretty cheap. I just wanted to quickly show you the pricing for each of the items that we'd have to buy. The actual headlight itself cost around $3.41 plus an additional $4.50 for shipping. And then the speedometer cable itself costs $19.95 or pretty much $20. And the total price comes out to $29.95 for both of those parts. Now that I got all those parts ordered on my phone, it's all about the waiting game now. So once all these parts arrive, I'll make sure to go ahead and pick up the camera next, and then we can continue working on the dirt bike.
3 days later.
So I just made it home from work, and what's great is that all the parts that we ordered for the bike have fully arrived. Let's get the bike pulled out onto the driveway. That way we can get all these parts unboxed and start working on it. Oh my gosh. Holy crap, this thing is heavy, bro. Pretty sure inside here, yeah, it's the headlight bulb replacement, which means that inside here should be our brand new speedometer cable. So let's go ahead and start getting all these worn down and broken parts removed and replace them with the brand new ones. Start off by getting the speedometer cable unscrewed. Go ahead, grab our Phillips head screwdriver and just get this screw loosened up. We should be able to turn this key over, and if we take a look, now you'll see that both of the bulbs are working properly and how they should be. It's definitely a lot brighter too, which should make it a lot better for somebody who wants to drive this thing around at night. Up next, I'm gonna get this old and broken speedometer cable kind of fed back down the way it came. Come around here, get this pulled out, just like so. I'm gonna get the one on the top side that connects to the gauge, all connected and screwed down. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything on the bike should be 100% fully finished and fixed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything put back together and we'll go ahead and test it out. What's really awesome is that the headlight is fully working properly now, and we even have our high and low beams on it also. Now, to test out whether or not the speedometer is actually working properly like how it should, I'm gonna go ahead, take you guys out on a little ride real quick. If you take a look, you'll see that the speedometer is working how it should. Bro, I'm so happy. What an easy fix. I thought it was gonna be something super difficult, but it ended up just being that speedometer cable. We really lucked out. We were able to get everything all fully fixed and finished up, all for less than $30 too, which I'm super happy about.
Tomorrow.
All right, let's see what this thing can do.
So now that I got the bike all cleaned off and fully wiped down, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the silencer back into the exhaust and get the side view mirrors put on as well. Now that I grabbed some photos and videos of the bike, I'm gonna go ahead and get it listed for sale and see if we have any people who are potentially interested in buying it.
2 hours later.
So it's been a few hours, as you all can tell. I got my hair cut and I'm feeling good. That's not the only reason though, is because when I was getting my hair cut, I actually had a few people reach out to me saying that they were interested in buying the dirt bike. I just got home not even 5 minutes ago, and I already have someone that I'm supposed to be meeting up with here in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's go ahead and get the bike pulled out onto the driveway and wait for him to get here. know how much of that you guys were able to see, but if you take a look, the XPRO 250 is officially gone. And in its place, I have $1,450 to be able to buy our next item for this series. I just wanted to do a quick price breakdown for everything that we spent and earned on item number 3. Now, if you remember at the beginning of this episode, I ended up picking up the bike for around $800. The additional parts that we ended up needing to get for it costed us $30, and we sold it for $1,450, which leaves us with a grand profit of $620 made from item number 3. Overall, I think we're on a great pace, and I'm really excited to see how much farther that we can take this challenge. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments on what you think that I should buy next for item number 4 for this series. And with that being said, I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed and found this video helpful, please make sure you give it a like down below. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you're new, that way you can stay along for this journey and see if we end up reaching our goal. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. Oh my god! I almost just fucking fell off this thing. This? Oh.
I'm sure the community around here is happy I'm selling it too. Cause I've come through. I know how to wheelie it, you know, so I could do it for probably about 2 or 3 blocks.
Really?
Yeah, I did practice a lot, but they get tired of me. I have so many complaints from them.
Does that look good?